Hey friends, it is week number 11, and that means it is time to start seeding all of my paste and production tomatoes. So these are ones that are mainly going to my mom's house. I'm keeping about a dozen of them here at my house. They're the ones that we're going to turn into sauce and salsa and canned items, stewed tomatoes, all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to start those today. And then next week I will go ahead and start the cherry tomatoes because I have a little bit extra time with those. So let's check in on our heirloom tomatoes. Let's get these ones sown and yeah, go from there. Okay, friends, I am filling up my cups with soil. I'm only filling them up about halfway. There are two reasons for this. One, I just don't need that much soil. I am multi-sowing seeds into these cups, so I'm going to sow like 10 to 12 seeds per cup, and then I'm going to transplant them in their own things when they're up and starting to develop their own true leaves. Reason two, and perhaps the biggest reason, is that I forgot to bring my next bag of soil into the house. So when I bought soil for potting in the house, I bought a bunch of bags all at once. I threw them out in my backyard, and I bring one in at a time, dump it in this big tub I have down here. And once it's in this big tub, I just use it kind of up. Well, I didn't realize I did not have enough soil in here for today's tomatoes. So I need to make it stretch, which works just fine. So this is what we're doing here. So I'm going to finish these cups up and then we'll look at the varieties. Okay. So I've used all the soil that I have, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13 we're going to start today. I did run short on 1 cup, so I do have 1 variety, Rutgers, that I'll just start next week when I start my cherry tomatoes. So let's grab our seeds and see what we're planting today. Okay, I got my seeds, but hang on, I gotta get my hair up. I got my hair cut, and I love it. But I'm not used to having hair in my face. So, all right, so we are going to be planting, let's find our first one, Granny Cantrells. Granny Cantrells are a determinant. These are all out of order. I used to be really organized in the beginning of these videos. Everyone used to remark on it. Oh, you're so organized. I'm not so organized anymore. It's just, this happens. I start seeds too early, and I'm sure I'm not the only one out there that starts seeds too early. And then I kind of get exhausted right about now. Not that I'm not happy I did it. I'm still happy I did it, but I kind of get to the point where I'm really ready for plants to be outside. I'm really done with plants being in my house. And we have hit that place. Oops. I'm going to do about this many. We have hit that place just because I'm running out of room. I didn't anticipate when I started growing all my cool season crops this year that what was going to happen is I was going to have 2 different climates going on. So I have this whole back wall over here is all cool season stuff, plus all the things that I took upstairs need cooler weather. And now I'm starting my tomatoes and peppers and they need warmer weather. So I have to add some supplemental heat in the basement. So what I'm ending up with is 2 different climate zones that I need to take care of in my house. And my animals like to attack everything. So you saw me put all my cool crops that I'm keeping for my garden up in my bedroom the other day. The last 2 mornings, there's been a dirt trail and some of my violas have bit the dust. They just picked them up and carried them around the house. And so I am ready, Mother Nature, whenever you want to let us put stuff outside, I'm going to be ready. But, all right, I digress. Granny Cantrell, I'm going to line them up here in this bucket down when I'm done. And then I'll water them in a little bit. Triple crop, this is the one that's an indeterminate. It says it's an insanely productive tomato variety. Clusters of 3 to 5 each. It's supposed to be more of a greenhouse tomato. It is not an heirloom, I do not think. I'm pretty sure that it is a hybrid, although it does not say on this package. So let's see if I can find I promise you, even though I'm less organized, these things will grow. And even if you're less organized, you can get things to grow too, because this seed wants to grow. Its goal is to grow. The very last cup I check is the one I want. All right, triple crop. I'm going to plant, oh, I don't even know. About that many. To be fair, I went through and wrote down all the tomatoes that I'm going to need. And I went through and wrote down how many of each I'm going to want. Where is that paper? I do not know. Because when it comes time to sow seeds, sometimes I'm just willy-nilly. That's just how I am. Amish paste. I've only got a couple of these left. Whoa! I can't afford to lose one. All right. Amish paste. I got 7. All right, girls. Do well. Striped Roman. I saw you right here. So after I finish this, I am going to take a look at the heirloom tomatoes that we planted last week. They did start coming up. I'm very excited. And then next week, I'm going to go ahead and plant all of my cherry tomatoes. My cherry tomatoes, if I start them a little too early, I notice they tend to get spindly because these bigger potatoes, they get a thicker stem, but a cherry tomato kind of tends to stay a little bit thinner, longer. So if I have to start a tomato later, I'm going to save cherry for last every time. All right, striped Roman, done. Opelka, these are my Polish ones. They're back here. All right. And I can't get it into it. Ooh, I've only got a couple of these too. All right, let's see. I have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 of them. All right, I'm gonna need more of those too. I keep all my seed packets, so I just used all those Opelka seeds. But I'm keeping that seed packet with my seeds right now, because what I'll do is when this is all done and I go to clean up my seed thing, I'm going to go through every packet, see how many I have. And I found if I throw them away, I forget that I need them just because of the variety of seeds I have. So, so I'm throwing that empty packet right in there. That way I will know that I need to purchase more when I go to do a seed order. And actually, I'll make that list ahead of time because toward the end of the season, people will have seed sales. They'll want to get rid of the seeds from 2023. And I will go ahead and take advantage of that a lot of the time and get myself a sale seed order early so that I can pay less. All right, these are Italian red pear. It's an indeterminate paste tomato, and it was actually one of my favorites last year. I really liked it. So I'm going to do a fair amount of those. Zoop. San Marzano. I'm doing this Lungo number 2 variety from Baker Creek this year. I always pretty much do some variety of San Marzano. They were one of my earlier successes, and they produce abundantly. They are a smaller tomato, which some people don't like to work with them as well, because when you go to process them, you have to process a whole bunch of little tomatoes versus like larger potatoes. But I think that they produce so much and they have such a good flavor to them that they're worth it. So pink ox heart. I don't remember if I'm showing you all these or not. A 1920s multi-purpose heirloom. I didn't know it was from the 20s. That's neat. Meaty and solid, sweet and juicy, delicious paste. Fruits go up to 16 to 32 ounces each. Wow. This is my first year doing the pink ox heart. So we'll grow, just a couple. And by just a couple, it's whatever gets shaken out into my hand. Oops, I don't want to lose these ones. They get stuck in the glue on the packet. Okay. Who's next? Ace 55. I've done this once. It's a determinant. Determinant tomatoes don't do well at my house because I don't have the room to let them ramble and get a lot of good airflow, so they get diseased. I need indeterminates that will climb, and then I can prune so that they have good airflow. But my mom is going to be doing a large tomato patch this year, And so we are going to try determinants at her house this year. So I pulled all my determinant seeds out, and I am going to grow, I don't know, maybe 15 to 20 plants at her house and kind of see what we end up with. I might find that I like doing indeterminants at her house better too, but we're using the ones at her house to make stewed tomatoes and tomato pastes and sauces and salsa. So having them all flush out at one time, like a determinant tomato will be better for that. So we're going to try it. And we're going to try one related to ACE 55, Wisconsin 55. This one is an indeterminate. It was specially developed to thrive in the Midwest growing conditions. Full of flavor, and it's crack resistant. So this is a good one, and it's comes into harvest early. So I figured it's an ACE 55, Wisconsin 55. To me, it sounds like they should be grown together. That is not the most scientific approach. But I'm sure by now you've noticed that I am not the most scientific gal. I like facts, but at the end of the day, I'm gonna go with my intuition. Okay, these are early dial, and I only have 5 seeds. I ordered them from Seeds and Such, early dial. And this one is supposed to be really early and really flavorful, and so I wanted it to try it. Ooh. So what I have is what I got. So 1, 2, I only have 4 seeds, so I must have used one last year. I don't recall, but that could be true. This one's called Early Detroit. I got it from Nature and Nurture Seeds, and it looks like my pack got wet. I got it because it says it's an early in Detroit, and Detroit's in Michigan, where I'm at, and I am a sucker for things like that. Because it got wet, these seeds might not be great. The paper might have got wet, or they might have got wet. We don't really know. So the package is falling apart a little bit. Because I don't know how good these seeds are, I will sow a couple more than I probably would. And fold this package into a tiny little airplane to keep the remaining seeds in there. All right, there's that one. Last one I'm going to do today is called Glacier. This is also an heirloom determinant. I did grow this one in my backyard. Like I said, they didn't do great because they were too crowded, and I felt like there was disease there. But we're going to try them at my mom's and see how we go. All right, so that is it for all of the determinant and the paste variety tomatoes that are going to make all of our sauces this year. There they all are. I'm going to go ahead and give them a drink of water, put them in a tray, and put those seeds up with the other seeds I've sown. And then we'll go ahead and look at the heirloom tomatoes that I sowed last week. Okay, here is the tray. And you can look and see we got lots of little tomato babies. By far, this one has the most. Let's see who this is. Brandywine Red and Striped German. This one, Kellogg's Breakfast. Oh, good. I'm glad those germinated. I was a little worried about those. Looks like I got a couple that I haven't done too much. I got a couple here. That one is a pineapple. I got a couple Cherokee Purple next to it. Little guy starting there. That one needs some water. A couple back here. These are Orange Jazz, Mortgage Lifter. And these guys in the middle here are the pink Berkeley tie-dyed. Got one coming up, none over there. The ones over here are coming up more. This end was more toward the space heater. So I'm going to flip that around when I put them back, and I'm going to water those. And then I've got a couple more back here. Let's look real quick. That didn't fit on the tray. No go. That's a Brandywine Pink. Nothing happening. Oh, but look at all these. Hey, babies. Welcome to my garden. This is the Mason Marble. Aw, I like that those ones are doing well. I'm such a wussy. I got 2 of those Black Beauty, which are the ones that are supposed to be the darkest tomato you've ever seen. We'll find out. And then Aunt Lou's Underground Railroad. Very, very cool. So I've got quite a few that are coming up. And let me kind of show you. I guess let's look at these ones since they're doing so well. So if you look at these, I gotta set this down so we can focus on it. If you look at these, they all have those 2 leaves coming up. Those are their seed leaves. This guy's actually got his seed cap still popped on. I'm gonna pull that off if I can gently. I'm not gonna transplant these into their own container until they have their own true leaves, which will be the next set. These 2 leaves are just coming up to get the energy to start growing the plant. So I probably have at least another week, if not 2, depending on how fast these grow. And then once they start developing more sets of leaves, so they'll set, I've got this set right here, they're going to do a set this way. Once those start, then I can start putting them in there. And I'm going to keep petting them and making the stem strong. You don't want to be rough with them, but you also don't want to baby them, because then they'll get outside and they will not be ready for outdoor temperatures. So these guys are doing fantastic. I'm going to go ahead and get a tray and add all of our production tomatoes right here. All right, guys, that is it for all of our production / paste tomatoes. They're all planted and ready to go, with the exception of that Rutgers that I did not quite have enough soil for. So lesson learned here, make sure I have a bag of soil thawing in the house in Michigan in the winter. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that bag in here this week, so that next week we can go ahead and do cherry tomatoes. And then I'll have 1 more week after that where we sow anything randomly left over. But we're getting really close to having everything done. So close. All right, you guys have a great day.